Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever looked at a company and just wondered what really separates the good ones from the truly great ones when it comes to safety? Well, today, we're going to dive into a super powerful blueprint that's designed to do just that, ISO 45001. We're going to break this whole thing down and turn a complex standard into something we can all actually understand and use.
So, I want to start with a big question. What's the real difference between a workplace that's just, avoiding accidents and one that's genuinely thriving? It's all about a shift in mindset, right? It's moving past just checking boxes to creating a culture of excellence. And that, right there, is exactly what ISO 45001 is all about.
So what is this thing really? Simply put, ISO 45001 is the globally recognized blueprint for building that thriving workplace. It gives you a structured framework for managing occupational health and safety, or OH&S, that any organization, anywhere on the planet, can follow.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to uncover the really clever structure that all these modern standards share. Then, we'll get practical and walk through building a safety system from scratch, keeping it strong, and finally, seeing how it all connects to the bigger picture of running a truly excellent organization.
All right, let's start with the framework itself. And what's so cool here is the secret sauce, the logic that connects not just this standard, but all modern ISO standards. It's what makes them so incredibly powerful when you use them together.
And it's all thanks to something called the harmonized structure. Just think of it like a universal template, because standards for safety, quality, and the environment all share the same 10-clause layout. They suddenly become way easier to read, understand, and, this is the best part, to integrate. You see, this structure creates this really powerful logical flow. It all kicks off with understanding your organization's unique context. From there, it flows to leadership commitment, then planning, then the actual operations, checking how you're doing, and finally, looping right back to improvement. It's a complete, continuous cycle of always getting better. Okay, so with that framework in mind, how do we actually build the system? Let's get into the core elements of safety management. Probably the easiest way to think about this is like building a house, piece by piece, right from the ground up.
Every single house needs a rock-solid foundation. And for our safety system, that foundation is the policy. But look, this is so much more than a document. It's a public promise from leadership that says, loud and clear, we are 100% committed to protecting our people.
So what makes a policy actually strong? Well, it has to be written down, it has to be specific, and it has to be clear. It's got to commit to protecting workers and following all the laws. And this is so crucial. It has to encourage worker participation and aim for constant improvement. This policy isn't just written for workers, it's developed with them.
Okay, foundation's poured, now we move to core element 2, organizing. If the policy is the concrete slab, organizing is like putting up the frame, running all the wiring, and installing the plumbing. It's about creating the structure that will actually support your safety goals. And this internal structure has a few key parts. It means assigning clear responsibility and accountability, so everyone knows exactly what their role is. It means making sure people are competent, through good training, keeping solid records, and having really clear lines of communication. Okay, the plans are made, the structure's up, now it's time for the real work. Core element 3, implementation. This is the active construction phase. This is where all those plans and procedures are actually put into daily practice. This is where the rubber really meets the road. We set real, measurable safety objectives. We create proactive plans to prevent hazards before they happen. We carefully manage our contractors and what we buy. And of course, we get ready for any emergencies that might pop up. So, the system is built, it's up and running. But is it actually working? How do we know? That brings us to our next critical section, checking and improving. This is where the system stops being static and becomes a dynamic learning process. This all starts with core element 4, evaluation. Think of this like the regular inspection of our safety house. We are actively measuring and monitoring our performance to see if the system is truly delivering on its promise to keep our people safe.
And how do we evaluate? Well, we monitor performance with key performance indicators, or KPIs. We dig deep and investigate any incidents or illnesses to find the root cause. We conduct regular audits to check for compliance, and leadership holds formal reviews to look at the system's overall effectiveness.
After the inspection comes the final, and maybe the most important element of all, action for improvement. Now, this isn't just about fixing what you found. It's about renovating, upgrading, and constantly making the entire system stronger over time. This improvement is fueled by data and feedback.
You take corrective actions to fix problems and preventive actions to stop them from ever happening again. You use the results from your audits, you keep up with legal updates, and always you act on feedback from your workers. This is what closes the loop and pushes the whole system forward.
Okay, we've built our safety system. Now let's zoom out and look at the integrated picture. Because great safety management doesn't live on an island. It's part of a much bigger, unified strategy for organizational excellence.
And this is where it all clicks together. Remember that harmonized structure we talked about? That's what allows ISO 45001 for safety, ISO 9001 for quality, and ISO 14001 for the environment to be managed as one single integrated system. It becomes a unified approach to protecting your workers, satisfying your customers, and safeguarding the environment.
So, if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this difference right here. ISO 45001 is not a static checklist. It's not a set of rules you follow once and then forget about. It is a dynamic cycle. It is a continuous journey of improvement, not some final destination you arrive at.
And that brings us to our final thought. I want you to look at your own organization and ask this very simple question. Is your safety system a finished document just collecting dust on a shelf somewhere? Or is it a living, breathing process that is constantly evolving and getting better? Because that answer, that is the true blueprint for a thriving workplace.